start of a new week. Busy morning running around. I was trying to find a new Kmart drawer unit, but they've stopped selling them, it seems. Picked up two of these boxes that go under the shelves for larger items. So I picked up a couple of those, picked up some sets for parting out. This is what's heading off to part out patrol number 2. I'm going to collect once I finish doing this video, to be honest. So 3 copies of the Force burner, that's 1,098 parts. 5 copies of the McLaren, that's 1,435 parts, and 7 copies of that thing is 2,023. So that takes him up to 4,000 parts for a part out. The last one was 3, this 4, just building up to that 5,000. Obviously I've not collected it yet, so I don't know what it looks like, but I need to go and get some parts and then we'll see. How many orders? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in and 1 still to pick, actually. Elizabeth, regular buyer, going all out on the tan stuff there. Small parts order there. A whole bunch of white plates of various sizes and some other bits in that one. Reddish brown slopes all the way, and some Technic connectors, separators, whatever they are. A bit of tan, a bit of black, a bit of white and blue. That says Knights to me. And this one is definitely old school space, I'm going to say. Whole load of light blue grey parts and some blues, some dark blues, some whites. Don't know, it just has an old school classic space vibe to me. And as I say, there's another order that has come in, although it's not showed up on Brick Freedom as of yet, so that's why I haven't picked it. And anyway, it's 10 to 3, and I said I would go and collect these parts. So yeah, what else have I done this morning? I did October's cash flow, kind of profit and loss balance sheet, stuff like that. Did some other bits and pieces of admin that I needed to do. Got a bit of a tidy up going, always satisfying. So B11 and 12, these will be, need labelling up. These need to go in the car. Other than that, that's me done for the day. I might do the postage labels when I get back. Well, I will do the postage labels when I get back for these ones. But for now, I'm going to go and get that part out, and we'll see how good part out patrol number 2 has fared. Okay, final order picked masonry bricks, dark tan and dark orange, and a few other little bits. That's a nice little order. Boxes labelled up, and we've got the part out back. So I went over to part out patrol 2. They have parted out a couple of sets. Let's grab the instructions from in there. It was that one, and the pandas. They create a panda set. So there's about 3,000 parts, I think, left. Those 4,000 parts with them for parting out this week. Apologies to Ricky, who messaged me because his Sunday was getting messed up by the fact that I'd forgotten to publish the vlog, and his lamb roast was all off kilter because he didn't have his usual dulcet northern tones to accompany him whilst he was having his dinner. So starving now, thinking about lamb, mint sauce, roast potatoes, maybe some carrots, some peas, Yorkshire pudding. God, what I wouldn't give. Anyway, what else? Not much more to really say. That's obviously more part out stuff to add to the other stuff that I haven't done. But good to see he cracked through all of the order in a good and enjoyed himself, which is important. So B11 is going to live in there, and then B12 is going to be on the next aisle, which is good. There we go, we'll get another one of those in there. I've got those small boxes over there. They're not minifigures anymore, but anyway, so there you go, B11, B12, a little bit more storage in there. What I was thinking earlier today was whether or not we could go 3 high on those, move them all along. I do have to get on my tiptoes to reach them, but it might be a bit of a solution moving forward, because I do want to get a few more of these single source locations in. as things kind of have been selling out, they've been getting a single source location if they're a regular selling item. Anyway, the other thing I think I was meant to talk about last week and I forgot, so apologies, is my system, which is pretty simple really. As I'm picking, Brick Freedom tells you how many are left. If it's an item that I recognise as something that sells quickly and a lot of, I'll add it to my little red list, which many people will have seen in lots and lots of vlogs. I then check the sales of that part, the quantity selling, who's got what, and I have a calculation of a price at which I want to buy that so that I'm making money on it when I'm selling it. And usually that just gets added to a wanted list, or I add it to an open cart that I've got kind of not purchased but ongoing with various stores that don't mind me shopping from them. And then I will kind of just check out that cart once it gets to a decent value, depending on what the postage is. It really, I don't want to be kind of paying a lot of postage within the whole total, because then it kind of affects the bottom line of that percentage profit that you've got in every part, if that makes any sense. Probably doesn't, does it? I'll just move around here so you don't see labels. Oh well, I can't do that because my mouse is charging. Anyway, that's it for today. Ooh, that's looking good, isn't it, when you do that? It's a fair bit of it. Keeps going, look at that. There we are. I'm thinking I'm going to get another one of those. Oh, a couple more of those for parting out. Give one of the part out crew a bit of a challenge on that front. And obviously there's plenty of sets still in the cupboard to be parted out, to mixed in with other Star Wars sets and whatnot that are out there, Speed Champions and things. So anyway, that's the last order that he's wrapping up and putting in the box, and getting ready for postage. And then that's me, Sunday. It is nearly 5 o'clock anyway, so that's been a pretty full day all in all. I wasn't going to do much today, but it's kind of rolled into a day of doing stuff. So right, I'll see you back here tomorrow. Good evening, welcome to Tuesday. We missed out Monday, although I did do some picking, so rest easy. Stuff has been happening. I've picked that one this evening. It's the only order that's come in overnight and through the day, so a very quiet Monday, which is strange. Quiet theoretically, and I'll get to that in a minute, but yeah, other orders that are in other than that, Speed Champions and some other interesting parts, domestic letter, some odds and sods, a grief thingamajig and a Spider-Verse thing and some other parts. The second order for Jack, who's a pickup, big volumes, which is good. Clear him out of a few things, also good. Another domestic letter kind of vehicle-y part, could be old school. I remember the old police vans used to use those black corner parts and those kind of windscreens, so that could be that. And then kind of a modular feeling thing in that one. Some parts have arrived for putting into the store. That was going to be a tomorrow job, but we'll get to that. Still haven't done anything on that. Collating some parts from other stores for a buyer, which is a nice little side project. Haven't done anything with all that parting out, and part out patrol number 1 is finished with his second batch. He's kind of sitting about the 3,000 parts mark, of which he says he's quite comfortable with that amount for the time being. So I'm going to give him Speed Champions and Jango Fett's Slave to do from tomorrow, to be honest. The other big news for the day was this order here: 12,751 parts, 1,451 lots. They have placed a couple of orders with other Australian stores. This is the MOC boxing even project. So 12,000 lots that are going to be divided up, 12,000 parts, which are going to be divided up into various MOCs and bagged And then I believe I'm shipping them to Noah, even though he's not there, for his minions to do the collating into sets or something. Not entirely sure. He's still not mentioned it to me, even though he's off on his travels. I know he's running a business still. So I'm going to give it a whirl. It's a bit of a test case, really, to see how it is, whether or not it's a feasible project. There's extra labels and things which need to be invoiced. The shipping for 13,000 parts is going to be significant because of the weight. Quick skim down the actual parts list. It's not actually clearing me out of too many lots as well, which is a surprise. I was thinking this was going to be a bit of a wholesale change. What it does mean is there'll be a requirement to replenish 13,000 parts, which on top of how we were performing previously, which is going to put us behind the curve somewhat. So there's a bit of work to do in playing catch up for that, given that the year is running out on us. We're sitting in what week is it? Week 47. So there's only 5 weeks left of this year to get through. And speaking of which, the clown, which is Stud City or whatever, a 1.5-minute video telling me that he got some boxes, or telling everybody actually, anyone that'll listen desperately, that he'd had a delivery from Lego of boxes for 26 releases, and guess what? He can't open them because they're embargoed. Well, don't talk about them then. Nobody's interested. Stop jumping around like a clown in front of him of boxes that you're not going to open. A waste of time. Clickbait. Clickbait, that's what it is. Breathe. Okay, so postage is done. I'm not going to pack these up now because it's Tuesday, and I'm going to stay true to my not picking on a Tuesday, even though I picked that 25 part with the Speed Champions in it. We have this all ready to go for tomorrow for the pick up and drop off with Part Out Patrol 1. It's going to take him to about 3,500 parts, slightly behind where Part Out Patrol number 2 is, but there's a little bit of age difference in them, so 2 sets as opposed to kind of 3. This one's kind of a big one with 259 lots. That is a lot of lots, so undoubtedly low volume, but mainly about the minifigures. I finally managed to order some advent calendars as well, a little bit late to the party, but with Black Friday on the cards, there's a fair few things that look pretty decent floating around. The Rebuild the Galaxy Millennium Falcon, things like that. So we'll see how we go heading into the week. And over the weekend, there's double insider points and some gift purchases and things like that. So I'm kind of keeping my powder dry until we get to that point. Meantime, I will pick through some of my Bricklink order carts and get them fired off. I've done a couple as we've gone through, which seems to keep us ticking along for now. With 13,000 parts to pick and then sort, that is going to chew up a lot of time, which means there isn't going to be much going in the store, which is going to exacerbate this problem because there's going to be a whole another bag of that, and then there's 2 more bag sets, lots of sets out and about for another what's that, 3.5, there's 4 of us, another 7,500 parts kicking about. Starting to get a lot to get on control of and keep moving, but that was the idea. Easier to put parts in once they're parted out. So Tuesday done and dusted. Monday hasn't done anything, you know that, but I'll be back here tomorrow with an update of how we are tracking on everything and whether or not the invoice has been paid for 13,000 parts. As you can imagine, it's decent. So once that's in, we'll start picking. Once I've got the labels, I'm going to have to figure out how to do this. So I need to put some thinking time into that, but more of that as we go. Good morning, just. It is Wednesday. Orders were all packed. That was good. There's been one small order in overnight, other than that mammoth one, which I'll talk about in a minute. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 orders came in. This one's kind of like sticker bag sealed together with tape. That never works because you pull in the tape off, you tear the bag, you open the bag, and things fall out everywhere. Thank you to Odd bricks out for the sticker sheet. Oh, it's pretty cool. Never seen that before. Happy with that. And beautifully sorted parts into type. Similarly from, I don't know where it's from. I'll have to figure that one out. Beautifully sorted. I know it's only 5 types, that's fine. And this one's actually from Brickden. I did find some volume things in there that were pretty decent, and some way underpriced minifigures. So grabbed those, and Blocks magazine has arrived too. I have put away the one-piece set. I seem to have my light on my camera. I've put away the one-piece set. That was 124 lots, 942 parts. Not huge, but that's one of those put away. But I wanted to get these parts orders in, having placed a couple this morning as well, because that all needs to get done. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Anyway, let's, I don't know how to turn this flash off. Hang on. There. Flash is off. All of those still to do. Anyway, so the 14,000 part order. This is the debate I've been having this morning with myself, essentially, before I talk to the guy that placed it. It breaks down into 51 different batches, which all come with a identifier. There's only 2 parts in that one. There are 102 parts, 41 lots in that batch. And then there are also, so this is just one part. So you're going to pick this with Brick Freedom. You're going to go through locations, and then my plan was to pick one lot and then subdivide it into what I was anticipating being 10 MOCs, not 51, which means you'd need to have 51 pots with those reference batch numbers on it, ready to go. But then, so there's 264 pages of that, which makes that an expensive printout by anyone's stretch of the imagination. Printer ink is like gold in terms of price, isn't it? And so we go on. So like 78 parts in that one, 28 in that one. Let's find another one. 348 in that one. Anyway, well, my fear is at the moment 252 in that one is that you're kind of triple handling, because then there are individual bag labels of which it's a random 50 odd parts per bag, which seems like triple handling for absolutely no purpose to me, and clearly would slow you down hugely as it is. So I'm starting to wonder whether or not this is actually worth the effort, because you're talking about a good couple of days, 3 days easy picking, because you just can't pick for that long and remain focused. Then you've got another period of time subdividing it into batches, and then they want you to further subdivide it into, you know, up to 36 bags for number 1. So let's see how many parts are in number 1. There's that many pages of this. There's 1,447 divided by 36. Let's have a look. Like 1,447 divided by 36. So like 40 odd parts per bag, which I just don't see the point of. I just don't see it, and that's 280 bags that need to be divided, because there are 280 labels here. Yeah, it's just not worth the time and effort, I don't think, because you're going to go backwards and forwards. You're going to pick a lot on Brick Freedom by location, and then you're going to have to identify which of the 52 it is in, and none of that seems to make any sense to me. The other thing that has been suggested, let me just clicking off the screen so you don't see names and whatnot, is printing out or downloading, I don't know how you do that, this by location and then redefining it by, but you still got the same problem, right? You're still going to have to pick it as one thing without a whole load of backwards and forwards. I don't know whether you can download an order. It is a long scroll, so bear with me. No. File, save page as web page HTML. See what that does. Anyway, you can save out certain things, but it doesn't get away from the fact that you need to at least double handle the order and then further handle it to get it into bags of 40 for no reason, which I just don't get, really. So I'll have a conversation with him later, but at this point I am well prepared to walk away from that one, refund it and move on, because of that is essentially a week's worth of work where you can't put anything into the store because the remarks will change potentially, and you can't do anything else. You can't fulfill other orders, and when time is short, yes, it's, you know, it's a £2,000 order, but you know, that's kind of by the by, you know, when you're not going to be able to do anything else. You pretty much have to close the store in order to fulfill one order, which seems counterintuitive to me, knowing what the weekly average is. So things to think about today whilst I'm getting the parts away, but that's where we're at. So we'll crack on into Wednesday, post run shortly. Going to take the missus out for lunch as well. Oof, it's all going on. And have a look through that, see how the advert's going. Is it still in here? Should be still in here. Still paying for it. Where's it gone? It was right at the back before. Still is. There's just not many people advertising anymore. There we are. Yeah, this is halved. This used to be 2 spreads. I think that's a reflection of the fact that you don't really get an awful lot for your money in terms of exposure from the magazine itself. And, you know, 1, 2, 3 of those ads are actually blocks advertising themselves. Ponder that one. Okay, that's where I'm at. Parts to put away, orders to kind of get into a BSX file, things to get organised. We've still got that one, and those two to figure out. So as always, plenty to be getting on about, and some stuff to really consider for the business. Okay, end of the day. 4 more orders popped in. Bit of white and has a strangely Christmassy feel to it, but anyway, it could be anything. Dark grey and light grey, old school one there. A few small parts in that one, and WA buyer with a bunch of medium nugget, dark orange, and some trans purple curved panels. So yeah, that's all in. All of those orders put away. That was another 4,000 parts, a little bit on there. Going to speaking to the MOC boxing people a little bit later on. There's also a pickup this evening. I didn't go to the part out patrol number 1 with the bits and pieces. Going to do that on Friday now. Just didn't have the time in the day. But we've still not really achieved much, have we? There's still part outs everywhere. I have placed some orders, about 30,000 parts ordered in, which is good. That will kind of take us back and over where we need to be. Might start touching towards the 800,000, which would be superb, wouldn't it? But we shall see. We shall see how the rest of the week goes on. Today's been a bit better than the last few, but only just. So a slower end to the month, maybe. People holding on to cash for Black Friday, which is this coming Friday, and then obviously Cyber Monday the following Monday. So I don't really intend to pick tomorrow unless I can get everything sorted out with this super large order, and there's a bit of prep required in that as well. So we'll see. We'll come back to it. So I'll call it a day for the day. Call it a day for the day. That don't make sense. good morning, afternoon, sorry, let's start again. Good afternoon. Welcome along to Friday. That Stud City fellow was on that banner last night and I meant to record it to go, that's what I get for bad-mouthing people, they're everywhere, but he's gone. So I think they were looking at this Bricklink Designer Program number 9, submissions or whatever, I don't know. Where to begin? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 orders are in. Those have arrived for party now. It really is a quality lineup. Love that jumper. That's got to be worth a bit, hasn't it? Christmas tree is really cool. Mrs. Claus, she looks hot, doesn't she? Inappropriate? Probably. I'm going to start with this one. This is a direct MOC builder order. So it's 2,500 parts. There's only 14 lots, so it's a fair bit. Cash job. Good. And then we're into the orders. So Ben, who was a frequent orderer on Brickowl, left a message that he'd like lightning speed delivery, but only paid for normal parcel. Go figure that. Whole load of stuff in there. I believe it's some kind of ski village or something like that. Could be anything. Another regular orderer picking up that one lonely reddish brown bush thing that I found in the pick-a-brick wall all by itself, lonesome. A Harry Potter figure. Harry Potter's popular today, and a whole lot of tan stuff, so they could well be making some kind of Harry Potter castle. This one again, more Harry Potter stuff. Couple of figures, don't know their names, and some odds and sods. Interesting as we go. Then we've got a little spate of domestic letter. One that really is a stretch to domestic letter, let's be honest, but there you go, all sorts in that, kind of a modular feel to it. Some random, a couple of kind of reusable coffee cups, a door and a panel in that one, and some dark blue bricks, some white mechanical arms and a doorway in that one. This one is off to, let me get this right, one of these is off to Poland. I think this one might be off to Poland. Weird and the wonderful, but there you go. Another one of these is off to New Zealand. Which one is it? That one. That's off to New Zealand, that Harry Potter one. Russell, back with a vengeance. More planty parts. A Ninjago minifigure there. And a couple of Friends polybags for his city, no doubt. And a couple of Sand Troopers in that one, which is all good, isn't it? This parts order has arrived to go into the store. So behind on parts orders, it's a bit of a mind bender, but there you go. Some other parcels and gifted purchases have arrived. I haven't done anything yet with this large 14,000 part order, just making sure that we get it set up correctly. The buyer is trying to refine their process. I had a good long chat with him the other night. What night was that? Was that Wednesday night? Maybe Wednesday night, maybe. Yeah, Wednesday night. Talking about how it could be more efficient in the future, and I've run out of labels, so I need to go to Officeworks and go and get some more labels for the printer that I have on like a subscribe option on Amazon, so you get a bit of a better discount because you're committing to buy them over a long period. And I had it kind of spaced out where it's never been a problem before, but today I've run out and delivery isn't till the 9th of December, so that is 19 days, so more than 2 weeks. So orders must have been frequent to get that gap in there. So yeah, and I'm also going to take those two sets, the Speed Champions and the Jango Fett's Spaceship, or as we all know it, the Jango Fett Slave, over to Part Out Patrol number 1 and collect batch. So that'll be Part Out Patrol's third batch, which he wants to stay around the 3,000 mark. I think I've already talked about this, so I'll start whiffling on about it, but that's where we're at with that. And some more parts have arrived for another buyer who asked me to source the parts for them, so I need to check them against the wanted list that I was working to make sure everything is there, and then get everything packed up for the post and to the post by the end of the day, including everything else that I'm trying to do today. So suddenly it feels like it's chaos, like we have taken a pounding this week in terms of parts 2,500 there, 14,000 in that other order. Yes, I've been placing orders left, right and centre, but I found another store that has banned me. Oh, the joys. And it's a WA store. Again, the WA stores are right little, aren't they? Ship a brick. Yeah. They've banned me. Dr. Rock. Is that really? Come on. Western Australia. There we have it. What's he got? 11,000 lots. So that's not too bad. Sets, pretty much, whatever. 137,876. I was trying to buy some 2x4 plates, put them in the car, and what happens? Let's go there. Seller refuses to service and has placed you on their stop list. You beep, 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 whatever. Ship a brick. Jog on. Right. Oh, calm yourself down, sunshine. What with Stud City and he's bouncing about boxes and getting banned from, what's that? Is that the 5th store that I'm banned for? Anchor Bricks Warehouse, who are still closed. This is heading into 3 weeks of that. That's incredible. Goldie fucking lock. Excuse me. Goldie Bricks and the 4 Bears or whatever it's called. And who's the other one? Ashburton. That's it. Wherever Ashburton is. No idea. Anyway, there you go. That's the lot of them. Got a whole load of sandwich bags here for parting out. And what else have I been thinking about? I've been thinking about this situation. Because we are rapidly running out of large drawers. So the big drawers. We're rapidly running out of those around the other side here. Where are we up to? We've finished that first cabinet, which only leaves us 3 to go. So I have got my eye on one of these 2 shelves to give me 4 more units. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that. But other than that, it's the usual chaos, isn't it? And apologies for the vile and abusive suggested language, but hey, some of you are only here for the rants, which is just outstanding. There was a big question on last week's vlog about Bricks Warehouse and whether or not I felt it was a fair process. Clearly it's not a fair process when you're trying to get things dealt with Bricklink, but the NSS or NRS thing triggers when you've got 3 of them concurrent, and your appeal process has to show that you have contacted the buyer to resolve it or that you have issued a refund. So in principle, pretty straightforward, because all of that would be in chat messages and things like that. So it's interesting that it's taking so long for them to get this cleared. And you know, as the comment said, and apologies, can't remember the name off the top of my head, you know, it's fairly unfair given that it's a business, and it is a business, and that is 3 weeks of sales. We know they do, you know, between 70 and 100 plus orders a week, and you know, they're way above the 6 months average and things like that. So it is a huge impact on their livelihood, which certainly the process for dealing with it, when Noah was suspended, when Steve was suspended, when other Fantechnic, they've also been suspended recently for I think whatever, I can't remember what that was now. He did tell me. It's gone. But you know, that's a whole heap of time that gets taken away. And yes, you know, Bricks Warehouse have many other outlets to be selling, but yeah, there's definitely a need for a better arrangement that kind of is more supportive of stores rather than this kind of default seller is always right. Because, you know, we had the situation myself where I got a NSS report from a buyer in Brazil because a Captain Fox had the wrong minifigure head, and none of the other figures in the part out had the wrong heads, so it must have been an error in the set, and you know, they wanted a full refund and to keep an expensive figure. Luckily, you know, Bricklink / Lego resolved that with me, and we moved on. But yeah, it's it's a huge impact, and it definitely needs looking at, and there is very little representation for stores for the system, and a system that's generating $8 million worth of sales a month really should have more representation. But I guess if you're making that kind of money, you don't really have to care about one store in the ocean of others, and that is a bit of a sad indictment on the situation as it is. But enough of my soapbox moment. I am going to go and get some labels from Office Works, and then I will be back. Friday afternoon. There he is. He's following me around. What can I say? Yep. Muppet. Am I being unkind? Probably, but you know, whatever. Orders are all being picked up and whatnot. 2 more come in. Interesting kind of mixture of some Technic parts and then a whole lot of kind of greens and olives and things. Interesting. And this one kind of has some kind of spaceship type thing, because there's lots of, well, it doesn't have to be a spaceship. I suppose it could be some kind of flying craft, but yeah, bit of a mixed bag. But that one's done as well. Everything's set for going to Part Out Patrol number 1. I need to make a spreadsheet so I can keep track of what we're doing on that front, just to, you know, for accounting and whatnot. So yeah, I need to do that. What else has gone on? Nothing really. I went to Office Works and got a new printer cartridge for that, and had the usual effing and jeffing rage trying to get the spool in the machine. Anyone else find that the most challenging part of your day? It is an absolute, oh man, someone go and design that a wee bit better if you possibly could. A couple of gifts with purchase arrived in that pile. Where have I stuck them? There they are. What is it? Coral Reef Diorama. That one came back on very, very briefly, and I managed to grab a couple of those, so that's good. They can just live in the cupboard for a little while. Do I put them in the store? I can't remember. No, I haven't yet. I did upload those parts as well. That was like maybe, I'm going to say 1,200 parts or something like that. So, you know, we're battling to get back in there. But this week has been, as I say, kind of just astronomical in terms of parts going out the door. Nothing bad about that whatsoever. It just makes the numbers look bad, which those of you that also run Bricklink stores, you know how you can obsess about things like that to the point where you may even ban sellers. Shall I have another rant about that? No. Leave it. Move on. Maybe we'll have like a rogues gallery of the stores that have banned me. But anyway, yeah, that's where we're at. I have also designed and ordered a shelf end to go on here, just to tidy that up so that when I'm talking on meetings and stuff like that, I can have that just sitting there nice and looking decent. So I'm going to have to get some Velcro fixes to go up the top here, something like that anyway. But that's where we are at. I have been giving all of this a little bit more thought, but I'm not going to worry about that yet because I just don't have enough time in the days to get all of that sorted. We are 1 week out from the end of the month already, and it has been busy, hasn't it? And it will continue to be busy with that large order to pick once I've got the right file formats that I needed to make that as smooth and accurate as I possibly can. Okay, that's where we're at. I will be doing the final little post stuff and then getting this off to Part Out Patrol number 2, bringing Part Out Patrol number 2's second batch back with me, which will then add to this mountain of part outs that need to get sorted. Yes, I am way behind. Who knew that was going to be a problem? Well, me really, because it's just not enough time at the moment with a busy month and whatnot. But that is kind of that is a good thing. It is a good thing. It's been a strong month already with another week to go. Who knows? We may even have a record month. You know, thanks in most to that large order, and equally that order that was kind of off the books direct to the seller. You know, that's a good $340 cash, no fees, nothing, and it took me maybe half an hour to pick. So that is good stuff. Okay, sort this postage out and then we shall crack on with whatever else we're doing. Good morning, welcome to Saturday. It is day 2 of the Ashes and those clouds do not look good. It is 9 a.m. in the morning and I am at Burragoon Shopping Centre on the hunt for some parts perhaps, but yeah, there's plenty going on. Anyway, day 2 of the Ashes and the weather looks absolutely shocking. So given that it's 9 a.m, there was a lot of the Barmy Army on their way to the game already. So as you can see, it's pretty quiet up here this morning. I went to Carryup Shopping Centre yesterday at lunchtime and there was no car parking spaces. So yeah, trying to pick up a couple of Christmassy type things. I've got a birthday that I need to sort and some other stuff as well, chores, errands. So that's my day. We'll see what's in the Lego store here and then we'll go from there. 30 minutes later, no Lego, no parts in the store, but the car park has certainly filled up fast, hasn't it? Eh? Busy times, Christmas coming. Anyway, struck out better deals to be had online, to be honest, so give it a miss. Okay, Saturday, just gone midday, back, terrible outing. Christmas craziness has started with a vengeance. There are the part outs back from part out patrol number 1. Got the holiday train, we've got a Speed Champions and another battle pack. So still not put any of those parts in. I have been busy online with Black Friday things, which we'll probably cover off as they arrive, and sorting out birthday presents. And 2 orders have arrived. So one from Jace Bricks, which is that one. That's another WA store. Always like swiftly sent. But yeah, I've definitely got plenty of them now. But there you go, that's the way it goes. And this one is from Rivka Bricks, a whole load of kind of Technic parts and things like that in there. So this is a good little one. It's about 2,800 parts all together. I'm just going to get these in the store and then I'm calling it a day. The Ashes will start in half an hour and I'm going to hang out with the missus for the rest of the day. If you're watching this and you haven't been on New Elementary, which is a website, jump on there because it gives you a list of PAB parts which are discounted at the moment. That is a tip for you out there. And if you want to check inside Noah's recent vlog, you can see all the action from Thailand at DD Bricks. Obviously he's kind of way away from there now on his little tour around the world. But yeah, interesting to see some of DD Bricks, so go check out that latest vlog on there. And we will be back tomorrow. There's one order sitting waiting to be picked. That will stay there till tomorrow. And other than that, I'm up to date. Placed a whole lot of Bricklink orders yesterday with various stores. So yeah, hopefully some of those will come before month end so we can try and catch back up. But other than that, that's where we're at. So, thanks for watching this week and I shall see you back here tomorrow.